It is Wednesday, April 26th. This morning we left Glass Window Bay, where we'd spent a couple of slightly rolly nights, if I'm honest. A bit of a rolly anchorage when the winds come out of the south. But there you go. We left there. We're heading down in the general direction of Alabaster Bay. We're currently sailing. We're not going to be able to sail all the way to our destination because we're having to tack and the winds are not very strong. But we've got all the sails up and the motor off just for a while, and it just feels so good to have Whitetail moving along at about 4 knots, close hauled, and she's as happy as can be. So that feels wonderful. We're going to have a few days of relatively good weather and then a pretty terrible weekend. We'll spend that weekend probably in Hatchet Bay for protection. But for now, we're out in the middle of the bight of Eluthera enjoying the conditions. It was Dan who introduced me to the books of Mr. Bruce Van Sant. He's a terrifically interesting guy. His writing's kind of quirky, but he's got lots of good advice about sailing. I love his 3 maxims of safety, comfort, and pleasure. That's what he calls the first principles. Anyway, he has a handy guide for how strong the wind ought to be in order to have a pleasant voyage. And for this point of sail, he recommends something like, I don't know, 5.5 knots or 6 knots, which is about what we've got. And he's absolutely spot on. It's so pleasant. You know, the old saying about a gentleman does not sail to wind. Well, you know, if you follow the advice of Mr. Van Sant, it can actually be very pleasant to sail to wind. We're not being thrown around, the wind isn't howling, the boat isn't half in the water. It's great. So anyway, that's just one example of the benefit of listening to his advice. So right now and for the next few days the weather's going to be nice, but at the weekend storms will come. Between now and then we're going to get in here in Hatchet Bay. This is a place that has a very narrow entrance. It's also called Hatchet Pond. If I drop the binoculars you can see what it looks like to the naked eye. We'll go in there in order to get shelter from all directions at the weekend. But we've got a few more days to go before we have to do that. Well, we've reached Alabaster Bay, and although the wind did die on us and we had to motor a bit at the end, it was just great to have the sails up and to be on a close reach in such nice conditions. Alabaster Bay looks okay, it looks protected. On the other side of Eluthera, we can walk across Eluthera here, and supposedly there's a really nice pink beach for us to explore, so we're looking forward to that. And yeah, we're just going to check out this area for a couple of days before heading generally north back to Hatchet Bay to seek protection from the storms at the weekend.